That we can come together and be proud of who we are, to be a part of something that has existed for, since 1776. It's not about race, it's not about an ideology, it's about being Americans and be proud to be an American.
Well, worth it. We got to support Trump. This is it. This is the election right here. 4 years of Biden, it's just been pathetic, especially in California. Inflation is way out of control. Cost of living is skyrocketing.
So this is the first time I've said this, and for those hotel workers and people that get tips, you're going to be very happy, because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips. We're not going to do it, and we're going to do that right away, first thing in office, because it's been a point of contention for years and years and years, and you do a great job of service, you take care of people, and I think it's going to be something that really is deserved.
Donald Trump visited Las Vegas on Sunday and offered a huge gratuity to the estimated 260,000 hotel and food service workers here, and millions more across the country who count on customer tips. Return me to office, the former president said, and your tip income won't be taxed. The declaration drew a roar from the gathering, which vastly exceeded the reported 6,000 tickets issued. In July, Nevada's minimum wage for tipped employees will rise to $4.35 an hour, but employers will still be required to make sure those workers earn at least $9.50 an hour.
The rally started around 10:30. Around noon, former President Trump went on stage. His crowd had waited for more than 6 hours.
It's not too hot out here, right? It's not bad.
He's got the energy, and you can see it right here.
There's little doubt of the enthusiasm for Mr. Trump here.
I heard it was going to be terrible. I heard it was going to be so hot. Did you see we put out a notice saying don't come? So only 20,000 people showed up. By the way, it's 110, but it doesn't feel it to me, right? So we'll stay out here for a little while. If anybody gets tired, you'll let me know. And if anybody goes down, if you start going down, we have people, they'll pick you up right away. They'll throw water.
He's the only president that I've actually studied delivered on his campaign promises.
Trump 2024.
Through the morning, the winding river of people grew. Thousands here to see one man.
Why do I support him? Common sense.
Sally Fossrob was waiting in the shade.
Everything's going in the wrong direction. Inflation, yada, 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 all that stuff that's going on. So I want to turn it around.
It's the former president's first visit here since being convicted of more than 30 felonies in New York.
I'm not so sure that was an honest conviction.
If we win Nevada, we win the whole thing. We win the whole thing.
The trial in Manhattan, the conviction, does that change your views at all about President Trump?
Not at all. It's a kangaroo law that you use. The justice is dead in America. President Trump did not commit any crime. His only crime is to make America great. And that is the crime.
I'm not saying maybe he didn't do a little thing. I'm saying it's just everybody that's making money is doing the same little thing. That's what I'm saying. What are you going to do? You're going to let 1,000 people go and jump on one? It's ridiculous. I'll tell you what, no third world country has weaponization where they go after political candidates like we have either.
I don't think the judge can go put him in prison, but he can go to prison. We might have a president who's literally in prison. This is literally, it is literally scary. And even if you support Trump, I don't even know how you want that. I mean, that's just literally bad look for the country.
I think it's a scam. I don't think he should have been convicted. And what is it about? Do you know? I don't even know. He was convicted, but it'll be acquittal. He'll be able to serve. He'll be able to become president. Hopefully he'll get house arrest. If anything, I think they're going to just let it go. This is the
worst border in the history of the world. There's never been, no third world country has a border like that.
President Biden's border executive order took effect this week, but illegal immigrants do not seem deterred. In the last few days, the average crossings are almost 3,900, barely down from 4,200 in April. So Arizona lawmakers are taking matters into their own hands. putting a Texas-style border law on the November ballot.
First thing we're going to do is we're going to close that border tight as a drum, and we're going to let people come in, but only legally.
We'll talk to a handful of these migrants. Take a listen.
From Egypt.
From Egypt?
Yes.
All from Egypt?
Yeah, group Egypt. Egypt. Good America. Egypt. America good.
Good America?
Yes. Good.
Yeah?
Good.
Yeah?
Good.
Why'd you come to America?
And business and the group.
You want to work? Job?
Work, yeah.
Job.
This friend.
Yes.
Group of friends, you guys want a job?
Yes. America, good.
America good.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
America good.
I'm from Turkey.
Vietnam.
Vietnam. All from China?
Yeah.
Why'd you come to America?
For free.
To be free?
Yes.
Bill, I understand you witnessed the crossing of hundreds of illegal immigrants from Turkey, China, Egypt. Bill.
Yeah, Harris, absolutely nothing has changed down here as a result of this executive order. We continue to see mass crossings without any resistance whatsoever. We continue to see mass releases, and we continue to see Border Patrol completely outmanned. Take a look at this video. We shot this late yesterday afternoon right here in Jacumba. This is what Border Patrol has to deal with out here. You got one single agent who has to try to corral this huge group of 150 people from all around the planet who crossed illegally. They'd been waiting there for Border Patrol to pick them up for 5 hours. They were getting impatient. You got language barriers, people from China, from Turkey, from Mauritania, from the Middle East. There's no translators out there for these border agents. They can't process all these people and patrol the border at the same time. They need more manpower. And then Harris, look at this. We were on scene in San Diego as we witnessed Border Patrol once again mass releasing hundreds of these illegal immigrants to city streets, just dropping them off at a local trolley station. Once they're done with federal processing, they're let go with their future court date, sometimes years in advance into the future, and they are then able to travel the country with that NTA paperwork, that notice to appear. People from all around the world being dropped off, Asia, the Middle East, Africa. DHS likes to talk about consequences for people crossing the border, but for a lot of the people that cross here in San Diego sector, they end up just getting released. And back out here live, been an interesting morning. Just a few moments ago, we had a group of Colombians cross illegally in front of us. They climbed over the wall and they asked us, are we in Texas or Arizona? We said neither, you're in California. We also came across a group of Chinese that crossed illegally. They got placed into a Border Patrol van, and somebody wrote in the dust on the back of that Border Patrol van, quote unquote, illegal alien Uber. That's how a lot of people feel about it out here.
I mean,
we'll send it back to you.
They're laughing at us. The cartel know that they have a complicit government at this point in this country, and they are laughing at us, sending people who don't even know where they're going to be dumped off. They just know they've come illegally and they can stay.
I mean, we saw what happened in Europe on the European elections, the EU elections over the weekend. Populists came in, the globalists for the most part are on the run. People are tired of the mass migration. But the media are still clinging to this notion of globalism. They don't understand Americans' feelings on this. Watch.
62% of Americans favor deporting all undocumented immigrants. So Homeland Security says that President Biden has already deported or repatriated more people in the past year than any year since 2010. Some of what Mr. Trump talks about could be illegal. It doesn't seem practical in some sense to round up children.
Oh my God, they're still doing the round up children. I mean, Senator, the American people have seen how this has already changed their communities, their schools, compromised our health care, emergency rooms, and of course, the huge budgetary problems, along with all the other problems that we have. But the media are still like, oh, but what about the families? What about the American families?
Well, they have a long-term play here, as you noted, because you don't need to be a citizen to be counted in the census. That's step one. And then if you give amnesty, allow them to vote, they believe that's their path to more power, more control. And if you needed any further evidence that, number one, Joe Biden's a liar, and two, that they're the open borders crowd, this is Exhibit 5,438, right? It's in plain view now. This memo only confirms what everybody feared, that this was just window dressing. They know exactly what they're doing. And for, as you mentioned, only 6 countries are noted in the Eastern Hemisphere. That means if you're from China, if you're a spy from China, you can get here for $5,000 to $10,000 and you'll be in the interior of the United States through catch and release. If you're a terrorist from Iran, same deal. People, this has never happened in the history of our country or anywhere in the world, Laura, where
never
an administration, this has never happened. No one's ever done this willingly, allowed and actually been complicit with an invasion of our country. They don't believe in real borders, and sadly now, Americans literally are dying, and I fear it could be worse. I mean, there are terrorists here who are operating in the United States, and again, the Biden administration is willing to trade all of that for some sort of electoral advantage, they think.